Welcome back to Games Waystation. This is Squid.
And this is Al.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome. We have a pretty good episode going on today regarding some new stuff that has come out for video games. A lot of it's PlayStation. I'm not a big supporter, but still. Looks like some pretty interesting is coming out, plus some controversies regarding that. We're also going to be looking at some TTRPG information, and we're going to be talking about a movie that we watched recently. Buckle up. Take some time, grab a snack. Let's talk about it. So, we just looked at God of War Lauffee.
Yes.
Right? We watched the trailer for it through the state of play, but we were watching it with somebody else in a sense.
Yeah.
So we were watching the state of play, but we were also regarding the creator David
Jaffe.
Yeah, David Jaffe. We watched his reaction to it because David Jaffe, if you don't know, is the original creator of the God of War series. He has not been affiliated with God of War in the last, decade or so?
Yeah, he had nothing to do with the one in 2018.
Right, so 2018 and beyond was a whole new writer, new story, everything. That's where they pivoted off towards the Norse stuff. Mm-hmm. The first game, the original games of God of War were great. They're very finessey, hack and slash, gore, a lot of that stuff. Went through the pantheon of the Greek mythology. And then in 2018, they kind of revamped it, if you don't know, into Norse mythology. The 2018 God of War was really good. Ragnarok came out shortly after that. Which kind of slowed down a little bit of the gameplay.
Yeah, well, they turned it to more of a third person, over the shoulder than a isometric ARPG.
Yeah.
That changed a lot of it, and Kratos was older and he had a kid, and spoilers.
You didn't already see all over the internet. So. If you haven't played those games, they're pretty great, but there's a new game coming out, and that's more pivoted towards his wife.
Yes, so apparently his wife, from what we could see in the trailer, she died, and then I guess she can't ascend to wherever she's going, and she's caught somewhere in the middle, and it appears to be she's taking on pantheons from other places. Look like Mongolia, China, probably a little bit of India, so they're probably just focusing on a lot of the Asian stuff, it looks like.
Yeah, we also saw Egypt with one of the possible big bads in that new game style. I found it pretty interesting. I thought it was decent looking.
I thought it looked pretty good. I liked the fast gameplay. Mm-hmm. I thought the combat looked fun. I thought the gelatinous cube guy was great.
It seems like I don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know of any, mythos with a talking cube, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, I don't. I've never seen that either, except in D&D.
Exactly. So I don't know if they're going more high fantasy and less in, a realm kind of story-driven, human-esque style. Of course, this is all fantasy. But it seems like they're going more fantastical with the things, which seems pretty cool. But David Jaffe
did not like it.
He did not like it.
Well, he hated it, and then he complimented it at the same time.
Breath.
Yeah, I mean,
he called it boring. He called it that it wasn't interesting, which I don't know what he was watching.
Yeah, he was like, the combat looks blah, blah, blah. I'm like, the combat looks like it's going back to the old school, fast, like it was when he made it.
Right.
I mean, it was, that looked way more
I felt like it was a nod towards the old games when I watched the trailer with you.
Yeah.
Faye is the main character that we're dealing with. The game is called Lauffee, though.
Which I don't understand what that's about.
I'm assuming it's her full name.
Yeah.
Lauffee.
Yeah.
So,
but she's played by Deborah Ann Woll, who is fantastic.
She was in Ragnarok. So in Ragnarok, she did have cameos of certain parts of the story where she was in there. But this is more her-centric. I don't understand the disparaged heroine thing that is going on still, and it's 2027.
Yeah, it's not like they made this one. It's not like suddenly she is God of War. No, she's her own character in that mythos.
Right.
So
and it's taking place almost coinciding with the 2018 God of War. It's like it's a split off of that storyline, all taking place at the same time. But then again, when you die, how does time really work, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, from the point when she died to when she was resurrected, when you really think about it, could have been a leap in years that we don't understand, right?
Yeah.
Who says how quickly? To her, it was a moment, but it might not have been a moment, right?
Yeah.
In time. Irregardless of that, Kratos does make a kind of cameo in the trailer that we saw. Where
like she sees him, but then he's not there, kind of thing.
I did see. Did you play Ragnarok?
I did not.
Okay, so Ragnarok, there's a point where Kratos passes away, right? He like you lose against Thor.
Then Thor brings him
and then
back.
Thor resurrects you, right?
Yeah.
So I saw a theory where that point when Thor kills you, that's the point when Kratos comes and helps Faye.
Yeah.
And then he gets resurrected. That's why he disappears so quickly. Right, by Thor, he's like, "Oh, you're only gonna die when I say you die." You saw that scene at least, right?
Yeah, I've seen that
cutscene.
Yeah,
but yeah. The gameplay was really fun, in my opinion. I don't see how it was outplayed. And it was very finesse. Like it wasn't a hack and slash in a sense. It was more like interesting, jumping around, launching people in the air, slicing them with like this new sword.
Yeah.
Which the sword isn't alive from what I understand it. It's the strands that are attached to the sword that seem to have some kind of soul equipped to them.
Yeah. And they stretch out, you know, I mean, just like they did.
Like AoE attacks.
Yeah, like in the first God of War, how his chain things, you know, spread out. It looked, like I said, it looked more like an homage to the first series than what these past two have been.
Yeah, for sure. In the last two games, Kratos was different.
Yeah,
he's a dad. It seemed like he was a little more chill, you know, in a sense. But also, you know, you rage out and stuff, and eventually you do get the Chaos Blades. But from what I heard, David Jaffe say about this game, I don't think we were watching the same thing.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, someone even in his own chat said that, you know, it sounded like he was just like jealous and poor or something like that, and it was like, well, that's kind of rude. But
he's saying they're disparaging, like he didn't see what we just saw.
Yeah,
visually it looked aesthetic. The story, there is story there. In the couple minutes that we were able to watch, it's like 10 minutes or so long, 15 minutes long. They introduce some race that wear masks that we don't understand that when Faye sees them, she automatically has like a reaction to it. Yeah. And then you see two new gods, which is either Mongolian or Chinese god of war, what I'm assuming, and then the Egyptian god of death, maybe?
Could be,
or something. I need to look more into it. I don't know what Egyptian god rides a six-legged lion
that flies.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
Could be India, maybe
I don't know. So the story seems compelling already, and then she saves a creature, a humanoid like Fae creature, and then there's a gelatinous cube that talks.
Yeah, she just makes the friendliest gelatinous cube ever.
Right,
he's even friendlier than he is on The Boys.
Yeah. So David Quaid, is it David?
Yeah, it's the one Quaid.
Dennis Quaid's son.
Yeah.
He voices the gelatinous cube, and people are super excited about it. From what I saw online, it looks pretty interesting. I did not look up who voices the sword, but yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. So far, I mean, I think it's interesting. So it's not Jack Quaid.
Yeah.
Not David. So Jack Quaid voices the cube, and it looks like it's going to be like a co-op, not co-op as in players, but like it's going to be Faye, the sword, and the gelatinous cube.
Yeah, you can see in the trailer every once in a while the cube is like just flying in and just like hitting one of the bad guys and knocking them off balance a little bit. I thought that, I mean, if I was going to play PlayStation, that would probably be a game that I would buy on day one. I mean, granted, I don't have a PlayStation anymore, and they've said they're no longer releasing on PC, so I guess I'm out.
Yeah, same. I do own a PlayStation, and I already stopped my subscription for PlayStation Plus because I don't see the point of it anymore, really.
And same thing with Wolverine. That looks fantastic. But I'm not going to be able to play it because I'm not buying a PlayStation to play them.
It's in 2026. It's kind of backwards to not have your games on everything.
Yeah, I mean, even releasing them like a year later on PC, I would be perfectly fine with that.
Yeah,
but
they're leaving a lot of money on the table.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm burnt out on the having to have an Xbox and a PlayStation and a Switch, and I mean a Switch I'm still kind of okay with because it's mobile, But
Nintendo is really their own thing, and they've always been their own thing.
Yeah, they are.
Nintendo has now accepted games from other companies onto their platform, but it doesn't go the other way ever.
No, yeah,
there aren't Nintendo games on the Xbox.
Not legally, anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So, or the PlayStation, or the PC, not legally, anyways. Knock on wood. But, yeah. So that's like different to me when it comes to Nintendo. It's always been its own thing. But when it comes to the console wars, they basically essentially do the same thing. Yeah. And Xbox is kind of already on the outs when it comes to that stuff. Anyways, they're moving towards Steam in general. Everything Steam. PlayStation has come. I watched a bit of the state of play. There's some pretty cool, interesting games coming out. You have that dinosaur game that kind of looks like Jurassic Park, but it's horror based. You have Wolverine. We have Lauffee, God of War coming out. A couple other things. 007, the new game too, looks pretty cool, interesting. Something that I found interesting that's new, we'll kind of switch gears here a little bit, is The Witcher 3.
The 35-year-old game is getting a new DLC.
Yeah. So, Songs of the Past expansion has been announced for The Witcher, a game that I have not played in forever.
Oh okay. My God.
I played it originally on what was it? The Xbox, and then
the 360.
360, yeah. So on the 360, and then at some point it came out for the Switch. So I bought it on the Switch just to mobilely play it. I didn't even beat it. I just kind of occasionally hopped on in and out of that world because it's high fantasy and fun. And then haven't touched it. But and then they announced a DLC for a game that has been played.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Fantastic game.
People are still playing it, actually.
Oh, yeah.
There's people who are still trying to 100% that game.
Yeah, Witcher 3 is a fantastic game, regardless.
It is huge.
Yeah, massive game, great story.
Yeah.
The DLCs are fantastic. The main story is fantastic. It's a great game. Why? Why now? Why not years ago? I don't know.
I mean, add some more money to the pile. I mean, so they can work on, whatever stuff they got going next. Right. I mean, I think they're working on The Witcher 4, aren't they? I think I saw something about that.
I've heard talks about it, but I haven't, So the DLC is due to come out next year in 2027. 12 years after the $60 million selling Witcher 3 game that came out in 2016. 2016, man. Mm-hmm. This game is older than one of my kids. Yeah. And it's getting an expansion. So the other expansions that were released was Heart of Stone. So that's one of them. But CD Projekt Red is coming out with new stuff. It'd be cool if they came out with some more DLC regarding CD Projekt Red for Cyberpunk. I mean, I'd love some more Cyberpunk. The Cyberpunk pivoting towards that is Cyberpunk TCG's fixing to come out pretty soon too. So that's going to be interesting. It's a lot of dice throwing, weird stuff. So we'll see what that game's like. In the next coming months, they're going to be dropping that. So there's some new gameplay stuff. Look out on the internet. Some interesting stuff. I'm wondering what the Witcher 3 is going to be like, the new DLC for that. I wouldn't say I'm excited for Lauffee because I'm not going to play it unless it ends up on PC at this point. I don't know if I'm tying my hands here, but I just don't agree with what PlayStation's doing. So, the way you control that is where you spend your money.
Yeah. I mean, they started releasing them on PC, but now because Xbox is going to, they're just stopping. That's just cutting off your nose to spite your face. Especially when Xbox is already like, look, we're not even trying to compete with you. Okay, we're just going to do our own thing, but PlayStation's still trying to play a game with it, and Sony definitely does not need to be doing that.
They're still console warring when there's no more console war.
And Sony and PlayStation is the only part of that company that actually makes money. They stopped making phones. They sold off their laptops. Their TVs aren't making a profit. Their cameras aren't making a profit. No other part of Sony is making a profit except for PlayStation. And so it's like you need to be getting as much out of that as you can.
Right. No, I agree. And they have some great single-player IPs.
Yeah.
Fantastic single-player stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be great if it was on computer. If it was on PC, I'd love it. I'd be all about it. I'd buy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see what happens in the coming months, year, whatever, whenever that game gets released. I don't know. I'm curious as to what PlayStation plans on doing later on, if they're going to realize that, they holding us hostage to their console is a good idea or not. Aside from that, we also were looking at some new stuff with the TTRPG you were playing.
Daggerheart.
Right. So tell us a little bit about Daggerheart.
So I sat down, or I went and found a DM on Start Playing who was teaching Daggerheart. It was like a last minute thing, and it was just like a 3 or 4 hour thing. He did a great job of teaching the system. I've been playing, for years, so it didn't take much to catch on. There's some things I like about it, and there's some things I don't. There's a lot of they want the people to work. They want the DM and the players, or GM, excuse me, and the players to work together, to build the story. And that's fine if you have imaginative players, but if you really don't, it's still just the GM telling the story. The way the damage thing kind of works is, you have this threshold for damage. So you have hit point tick marks versus, just whatever the damage number rolls. And your armor actually you can use to reduce the amount of hit points that you lose versus it's whatever your target AC is. And your AC is based on like your class and stuff like that. Like mine as a Ribbet Druid, which was a frog, mine was 10. So if they got over a 10, they could hit me. Then they rolled for damage then, and that was...
So Daggerheart originally was a card style game, right?
Actually, it's got a card style game that goes with it. It was always a TTRPG, but
Okay.
So like when you want to build a character, instead of everybody having to dig through the books to see everything, they have these cards that you can do with it. Like you hand out, okay, here's the class cards, and everybody can just go through and they can just pick the card and set it in front of them, and it has like the details of the class on the card. And
I see. So like D&D has that kind of stuff too.
Yeah. But this, if you buy the core set of Daggerheart, you get this. And
cool.
And then so you pick your class, you pick your subclass, you pick your your species or race. I forget what they call it. And then you also have choices of, okay, since you picked this subclass, you get to pick between one of these two spells, or one of these two abilities. And so then everybody just takes the card, and then you have all that in front of them. So you don't necessarily have to have a character sheet other than to keep track of, some of your stuff. And
right, like your expenditures of armor, spell slots, whatever. Got you. Okay.
Yeah. So as far as building a character, you could just go through the cards and put it together. So you could build a character a lot faster.
Okay.
Since it's new, there's way less options than there is in D&D.
So you did play it. Mm-hmm. You about 2.5 hours or so.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the combat?
The combat, since it doesn't do an initiative, it does this kind of back and forth kind of thing between hope, which is
So explain the hope die and explain the fear die.
Okay, so whenever you roll anything, you roll 2d12s. One is your hope die, one is your fear die. They both count towards your roll. So if you roll a 10 on the hope die and a 2 on the fear die, your roll is still 12, but since your hope is higher, then you get a hope point, which is basically the resource you need to do some of your better abilities.
Okay.
But if you do that in reverse and you rolled a 10 on the fear die and a 2 on the hope die, then that fear die becomes something the DM can use to make a complication for your players later.
Right, and then the hope die also something you can, from what I understand of it, is something you can use in response to an attack or to help a friend out. You would expend a hope die.
Yeah, if you have one of the abilities that can do that, you can spend a hope.
So the way the hope die work is that you stack them as you're playing. So, from what I understand of it, is you only get a certain amount, which is 6. But if you also expend a hope die, and your roll is high for the hope, where you would acquire a hope die or a hope point, let's call it that way.
Yeah.
You basically replace it.
Yeah. Then you just don't lose any.
Right. And when you throw your dice and your fear die is higher, it's still the same amount of dice you throw, but you give the game master, the GM, a fear die, allowing them to interrupt an attack or do a special ability with the creatures that are attacking you in the campaign.
Yeah.
Basically, fear is the game master's reaction. Hope is the player's reaction.
Yep.
Now, the way it damages Dow is a little interesting in this as well, because it goes along not only with AC necessarily, also points are dealt in sequenced amounts.
Yeah.
So if you were to take 16 points of damage, it's not actually 16.
Right. Yeah. There's 3 thresholds. There's minor damage, major damage, and severe damage.
Right.
So and depending on your class, like my Druid, I think he was like 6, 10, and 14. So if I took 5 points of damage, or if the roll was 5 points of damage, that was minor, and so that would be 1 hit point that I would tick off. Right. Whereas if it was 16 points of damage, that was over the severe damage, and so then that would be 3 hit points.
But you could also expend armor points in order to lessen that attack. But your armor also has a breaking point.
Right. There's, in my case, I was wearing leather armor, which has 3, and I had a shield, which had 1, so that gave me a total of 4 armor that I could use.
Right. And you can only use 1 armor per block, in a sense.
Right. Yeah, per attack.
Unless you had an ability that said otherwise.
Right. And then whenever you do a long rest, one of the actions that you can actually do is you can repair your armor, or heal your hit points.
Right. So depending on your class and depending on your armor, you can have 18 slots of armor, but you're not going to have all 18 because if you're a spellcaster, spellslinger, if you're a tank, I imagine it's more, or if you're like a rogue, you're wearing light armor. It all depends. Similar but different. Instead of, when it comes to D&D, getting attacked and it goes against your AC to see what kind of points of damage you take, instead this is, you're going to take this amount, but based on your armor, and then also based on the major minor damage that you're taking. 1, 2, like you said, it was like 5, 14, and then more.
Yeah. Which the AC is basically the evasion, but the evasion is, for most is, like 10 or 11 or something like that. And the enemies, they don't roll 2d12, they only roll a d20. So
yeah, so that's different as well.
Yeah.
So as a player, you're rolling 2d12, which is 24 total points you can acquire. Total dice throw accumulation. But even if you were to do that, you can accumulate more fear if you roll poorly. Even if you roll 12 and your fear was higher, you still roll the 12. Yeah. But the game master GM, I know you're used to saying that. Yeah. The GM also gets an advantage over the next attack or over the next reaction.
Yeah.
Like in D&D, when you go into combat and other players can have reaction where they give you like a buff or help you in some way. In this sense, from what I saw of it, is that players can even take a hit for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's basically just an interpose. The one in this case, they were playing basically a giant warrior, and so yeah, that warrior, like I was getting attacked by 4 skeletons who were doing this combo hit.
All at once too, which is wild.
Yeah,
so the way that what I don't understand of that is that how are they in this game, this version? Why in Daggerheart can they all attack simultaneously?
Because
did he use fear?
The GM spent a fear, so they all got to attack, and so basically he did one roll, which means that they either all hit or they all miss. But of course, if they all hit, they're doing some serious damage.
Right, which was you were taking 16 points.
Right, I was taking 16,
which would have been severe damage.
Yeah,
right?
Which would have been that would have been 3 of the hit points, which the Druid starts with only 6, so that would have been half my hit points in that one shot right there.
Wow.
But the tanky giant stepped in and basically took the 16, but since they're a giant, they got to immediately mark it down to just a major damage, so they only end up taking two hits, and they had actually more hit points that could be taken off than what my character did.
Now, I don't know if you guys are tracking, listening to us here, but it's not that complicated.
It really isn't. Once you're playing it and looking at it and got the thing in front of you, and we'll post a link to the actual game, the YouTube link. Yeah. So you can actually watch, and he gives pretty good instructions. It's of course it's a new tutorial, so it's a little bit slow, just because he's explaining everything. But if you pull out a character sheet and you're just kind of looking at it as it goes, and maybe I'll see if I can't post like a link to my character sheet so you can kind of see some of the things that I was
the differences
on there.
And things. It might sound complicated as talking about it, but it really is simplistic. The gameplay makes it easy. Building a character is a little easier. Not that difficult to understand overall. I am not against it. I think it's pretty interesting.
I think it's interesting. Now, is it better than like D&D and Pathfinder? I'm not sure yet. I would need to play it and level up a couple of times before I would really know for sure if I think it's better. I do like some of the streamlined stuff. So I the way that, because like there's no initiative in combat. Basically
that I don't enjoy.
I kind of do, because
the game master asking you guys, well, who's going first, is kind of like that's why they took that out in D&D. It's throw a dice for an initiative so that nobody has to decide. The dice decides.
But it lets your team strategize. Like for me, I would choose to probably. I was like, for a couple times, I was like, all right, how about I go first? Because I can use my spell that restrains them, so that when the melee attackers attack, they have advantage. And so that was a good strategy for me to go first.
Right.
And so it lets you strategize that way versus just the luck of whatever the initiative is.
As long as whoever you're playing with is strategic as well, and it's not always because I have X ability, I'm going first every time. That at some point it's not a strategy; it's just protection.
Yeah.
But as long as every new fight is interesting, then yeah, I can see your point. Trust me, I do. Yeah, I'm interested. I think it's pretty cool. Maybe we'll do one shot. Post it. Or
do
something.
a Vagabond versus Daggerheart one time.
Oh yeah.
Do basically when we plan on doing that Vagabond one.
Yeah, we need to do the Vagabond one as well. Definitely.
I could do it up as a. We'll play it through as with the Vagabond rules, and then we could play the same thing through with the Daggerheart rules.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. That'd be a good comparison. Well, I don't know. It depends on how accepted either or is as well. I have to look into that. But yeah, TTRPGs, there's a lot of them. And,
there is, yeah.
A lot of them are moving towards being able to be played over Discord and things like that too, using... What was that program you guys were using for the imaging? That was Roll20, right?
Yeah, that was just Roll20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Speaking of a new one that's supposed to be coming out in November by Renegade Studios, Dungeon Crawler Carl is getting his own TTRPG.
Dungeon Crawler Carl. So tell me more about Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Dungeon Crawler Carl is a book series that's on book number 8, and it has a cult following. And now that I am on book 7, I completely understand why. There are so few audiobooks that I've ever listened to where I have had to pause the audiobook because I am laughing so hard that I can't even hear or pay attention to what's going on in the book anymore. It's what most would call a lit RPG, but unlike most lit RPGs, there's like a solid story and character building behind it.
Yeah, so talk about some of the characters out, because you know way more than me. I just got into it. You kind of give me a couple things. So who's Carl?
So Carl is the main protagonist. He's just broken up with his girlfriend, living in an apartment because she's off somewhere else and she's cheated on him. And he has her prize-winning cat, because this is what his girlfriend does, is she enters this cat into contests.
Yeah, so it's a very prissy,
yes,
well-kept cat. What is her name again? It's like
Princess Donut. Yeah, she has this actual huge Princess Donut, the Queen Anne Chonk GC, which stands for Grand Champion. That's her whole name. So they just call her Princess Donut. And but one day, Carl is sitting there smoking as he's just broke up with his girlfriend because she was cheating on him. And so Donut jumps out the window for some reason because he was smoking by the window, and she's never done this before. So he has to go outside and try to get the cat because now she's meowing. And then the aliens come, and they are going to be mining the riches from the planet.
Yeah, so they're strip mining the planet.
Yeah, well,
creating these dungeons.
It gets a little bit deeper what exactly they're strip mining, but
let's not give away all the details.
Yeah, you find out later, what it is, but I mean probably the simplest way to and then basically they're outside, and then it's like this tunnel opens up and it's freezing cold. Well, Carl just ran outside to get the cat, so he's in his boxer shorts and his girlfriend's pink Crocs and a jacket, and he's freezing. And then
his boxer shorts are white with little red hearts on them.
Actually, he doesn't get those until later.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. But then, the aliens come, and basically all the buildings smash. And so anyone who was indoors or in a car or
on a plane.
Yeah, if they had a roof over them, they're dead. They're just immediately dead. And only the people who are outside have the chance to go down into this tunnel. And once you go into the tunnel, you're basically taken into this, almost like a video game thing where you...
Running Man.
Yeah. You gather up loot, and, you learn how to throw fireballs, and you get, incredible strength and all this stuff, and then it just gets more and more dangerous. And then, of course, if you die, then you die. But if you make it all the way to the end, then you get to to come out of it, with this stipend, basically this retirement fund, and you get to join the galaxy.
So for those who aren't aware of Running Man is a game. It's a game where if you were to manage to survive the game, you get millions of dollars.
Yeah.
In this dystopian future of the world. So Dungeon Crawler Carl is a game.
Yeah.
But it's on Earth where aliens invade. And tell us about the announcer.
Oh, so the announcer is a crazy AI who he has some quirks. He has probably the biggest and most notable one is the AI has a foot fetish. Well, of course, Carl loses the Crocs right away because they were too small for him anyway. So as he's running, and
he's barefoot.
Yeah, he's running around barefoot, and one of the first things he does is he gets attacked by, of course, what? Rats, because it's the first level of a dungeon. So he ends up having to stomp on a rat to kill it, and the AI is like, oh. That was so great.
He's super into it.
Yeah, super into it, and so it gives him a prize for killing something with his bare feet. But it says shoes, but it actually turns out to just be a toe ring.
A toe ring, yeah.
So the thing that's leading this whole thing wants him to remain without shoes the whole time.
Barefoot. And Carl ends up being barefoot.
Yeah, like the whole time.
The whole time.
And the AI thing keeps giving him these things to make his feet stronger, so like his feet can't get hurt and his feet stay pristine, and
super into his feet.
Yeah. And it becomes a thing that it just comes up every once in a while, not enough to get old, but just enough that every time it comes up you're just like, "Oh my god." And there's so many moments that will just have you go, "Oh my god, I can't believe they went there." At
some point, Princess Donut, spoilers a little bit, becomes sentient.
Yes, Princess Donut. That's one of the first things that happens is Princess Donut now becomes sentient, and they're going through this thing, and they're, of course they bicker, and
she has like I wouldn't call it a southern drawl, but like a fake British accent.
Yeah, almost kind of, yeah. She's, now Carl. It's
attempting to sound like money, basically. Wealthy, like affluent, interesting, weird drawl. It looks good. The story seems pretty cool. TTRPG is coming out for it pretty soon. It's worth a listen, and it's becoming more and more popular as the days go by.
Yeah, it's really you're starting to see more and more merch pop up. I mean, he's on book 8 for crying out loud. So I mean, obviously it's not doing too bad. But the books on Audible, the audiobooks they do a pretty, I mean, of course he's just reading it, but he does a great job with all the voices and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And even after, it says like the end, then there's like some things that'll happen afterwards. It's usually a good idea to keep listening, because then he'll do like a prologue or some announcement after that.
Yeah.
And they've got a deal where the same guy is always going to be like reading, and so Matt Dinneman, who's the author, likes to mess with the guy who is doing the reading, and so every once in a while he'll just put something in there, and he'll be like, "Oh, then he'll throw in some name that's just like long and obnoxious," and he's like, "Oh, but the guy who reads the audiobooks, he gets all the ladies, so what
can the writer?
Yeah, so what can the writer do? He can come up with names like Suburfalum and make him read it out loud and put it in there just long enough that he forgets what he said the last time. So it's just a horrible experience. And then he makes him say things like Matt Dinneman has a great ass. And so
the author is actively messing with the storyteller on Audible, which is hilarious too.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of fourth wall breaks stuff in there when it comes to that towards the end of the book, and I think it's going to be pretty neat. More Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting the the book. I didn't do the Kickstarter because I always just wait until it comes out. So
yeah,
but I'll be getting that from Renegade Studios.
It's kind of hard to kick into something and assume it's going to be good nowadays, just because it has money backing it a little bit. Yeah, Dungeon Crawler Carl, you can find it pretty much anywhere where you can, at least Audible for audiobooks.
Yeah.
The books are out everywhere. You can get them on most platforms. You can even purchase them digitally if you're into that kind of thing.
I'll be honest, I just bought all the books, all the physical books on Amazon, all 8 for like $120. The hardback.
That is not bad.
Yeah.
It is not bad. I buy sets of anime for way more than that.
Yeah.
For manga, I mean. So, yeah, it's not bad. Talking about that, I bought the full set of Delicious in Dungeon, and that was like $180 for the full story of that, and it is not what I thought it was going to be. But yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I surpassed the point of where the anime and the book coincide, and I read the entire story, and it's interesting. So, Dungeon Crawler Carl, super cool. Look into that. You guys should, anyone who's a nerd who wants to read that stuff, or even listen to it on audio, on Audible, pretty cool. Last thing that we have is a movie. So, what movie did you see recently, Al?
I watched Avatar Fire and Ash.
Avatar Fire and Ash. What did you think?
I give it about 75% of the movie was great, and then about 25% of the script was just like, oh, you just threw that together, because that was the cheesiest lines I've ever heard. I mean, come on now.
Right. So Avatar Fire and Ash came out 2005, so you're already a little bit under the cuff there, but it's digitally out. It's been digitally out for a little bit. It's got a 90 on Rotten Tomato by watchers, and then a 66 by what would you want to call them? People who are talking about it. So
the critics.
The critics. Yeah, the critic score gets it as 66. Audiences say it's a 90. I liked it.
I liked it. I think it just wasn't up to the same level as the other two, as far as script wise. As far as the visuals, the acting, and all that stuff, I thought that was all pretty good. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was all just as good. But just some of the points in the script were just it was just poorly done.
I saw the first movie when it was in 3D in theaters. When this whole 3D craze was taking off years and years ago when I was younger, I was transported. Yeah. I mean, it was fantastic, amazing story. The second one, I liked it, but I also felt super bad for anyone who was near Jake Sully.
Yeah.
The fact that he runs from his own, spoilers if you haven't seen it. I mean, it's been years. You should have seen it by now. But in the second movie, he runs away trying to hide, and then he ends up in this fishing village, and he kind of screws them over. And that's the way I feel about it. He's like, oh, I'm going to hide out here, but I'm being hunted, and like eventually they catch up with him anyways, and cause all these issues. And then in the third film, it's more of that, him still trying to survive, avoiding it's not really a government, but it's a government-esque corporation, mega corporation thing. The story's compelling. It's interesting. They have actually, which is what I was wondering in the second film, they have how could you put it, like a bad quote-unquote tribe, or a tribe of hunters, killers, that actively, that's what they're doing. Yeah. That's all they really want to do is like hunt and kill.
The evil Na'vi. Well, that's because their home was destroyed by the mountain of fire, which I can only assume is a volcano. But
so they're fire worshippers, and they denounce the god, their god, Aowa, Awe, Aowa, Yahweh, so but they denounce their god and they start worshiping fire. and they worship in a sense, the volcano that's near them without saying like we worship the volcano.
Yeah.
But they worship fire. So, and they are hunters, raiders. So they're, I don't know how to even compare it.
I thought the evil Na'vi were kind of cool.
I thought they were dope.
As a villain, I thought, I mean, their leader, she was crazy. And I mean, they did a great job making her crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Fighting, there's a lot more fighting in this one, but it's more Na'vi versus Na'vi. So there's really cool, like, aerial scenes where they're duking it out and on the ground and stuff. And then there's some more story driven stuff towards Sigourney Weaver's childish character.
Yeah.
And some more like family stuff. And then there's like this whole thing where they're thinking about killing somebody they shouldn't kill. And that was kind of sad. But it didn't, without giving out spoilers, it's just a really good story, in my opinion. There is a lot of cheese.
Yeah. There was a lot of cheesy moments where it was like, that could have. I mean, I won't spoil them, but I mean, because a couple of them are pretty crucial moments, but it was just like, that's so cheesy that
it's worth a watch. So
it is definitely worth a watch.
If you haven't seen it yet and you want to watch it because it's good. The visuals are really great. The fighting overall is good. The story is interesting. They bring back that general. You know, he's still hunting Jake and all that, and then he kind of goes native himself a little
bit. Yeah.
So that's something that I think is definitely worth a watch. There are a couple other movies that are coming out that I want to watch. I might do a review on the new Holcomb movie that just came out. It's horror based. It has the guy from Parks and Rec in it. I forget his name off the top of my head. But yeah, so
speaking of horror, did you watch The Burrows on Netflix yet?
Oh, the show?
Yeah.
No, I haven't watched it.
You should probably watch that one. I'm about halfway through it. That one's actually, it's not bad. It's not like super horror, but I mean, it's got a couple of jump scares.
Yeah, I've been watching, when it comes to horror, I've been watching, what's the show called? The Terror, which is a series. It's so far they're on the third part. And it's kind of like, the first one was like old school. It's on AMC. The first one was about adventurers in like the 18th century or 17th century. And then, I might be getting my centuries completely off. The second one was based in Japanese in California, based on, World War II era, Japanese people getting interred into an internment camp that, which happened during that time. And then the third one's about like a guy getting wrongly placed into an institution, an insane asylum. So that's what I've been watching recently. Hokum just came out, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. It has what's his name? Adam Scott. So Adam Scott, the way I know Adam Scott is he's just like a goofy, funny dude. So to see him in a horror movie is interesting. So far on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got an 89%, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. Let me see what the regular score for this is. Oh my god, you got my face. You have to cut this. But yeah. Let's see. Oh, it's got an 82 from viewers. So I will talk about that next time we get back on the channel and we review some more stuff. I do appreciate you guys listening in with us today. We are going to post a couple of videos or a couple of links. So we'll have the links to the TTRPG. We'll have the links to your character sheet. Regarding God of War with David Jaffe, I will post the state of play that he watched. If you cut it towards the end, and we'll put a timestamp on there, you can see his reaction to the new God of War game, which I don't know what he was watching.
Yeah, I mean, it did kind of feel like there was a little bit of jealousy in it.
Oh, yeah,
but
definitely.
I'm sure God of War was his baby, and what it has become is so far in a way different than what he originally created.
Yeah, but he told his story.
He did. I
think he
that's
told
why
his
he
story.
stepped away. Yeah.
He told the story all the way to the end. And, Sony's going to keep making money any way they can. So, I don't know. I'm not really sure what he's talking about, but you'll see his reaction on there. You can click on the link and see his reaction. It does go directly to his channel. So, if you don't want to support that, don't click. But if you do want to see the reaction, it is there. We will provide it for you. Yeah. I do appreciate you guys listening in with us today. Have a great day. This is Squid.
This is Al.
Remember, what is it?
Good luck.
Yeah. What is it?
What is it? Good luck. Have fun. Don't
die. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Lost it today. But anyways, good luck. Have fun. Don't die. Look out for new movies coming out. Take care. Catch you on the next one.
Boop-a-doo.
What is that, Boopa?